When we booked our first Princess cruise on the Enchanted Princess, I had one main question. Was this cruise actually going to be worth it for our family? Let's find out. In this video, I'm breaking it all down: family friendliness, entertainment, food, value for money, and our overall experience. And then I'll share the things I really wish I'd known before booking, especially as a family. This was a 7-night sailing out of the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal to New England in Canada. We traveled as a family of 4 with my mom, our son who was 10 at the time, and we stayed in a mini suite. We're the kind of travelers who like to go, see, do, and experience things, especially in port. But we also really value our downtime. A cruise nap or a visit to the spa is absolutely a part of the vacation for us. Let's jump into our scorecard. For family friendliness, I'm giving that a 3 out of 5. The biggest reason is that the kids club and kids program were more limited than I expected going in. That said, this didn't end up being a deal breaker for us on this itinerary because this was a New England and Canada sailing. We were off the ship exploring in every port, so we weren't relying heavily on the kids clubs to keep our son entertained. For families who like to spend a lot more time on board, especially on sea-heavy day itineraries, this score would probably matter more. For entertainment, I landed at about a 3.5. The shows themselves were decent and enjoyable, but the challenge was really the logistics. The venues are on the smaller side, which meant arriving early to get seats. Having to factor in getting to the theater or any venue 30 minutes or so in advance became a bit of a hassle over the course of the week. So this score isn't really about the quality of the entertainment, it's about the experience of accessing it. Food overall was a strong point for us, so I'm going to give it a solid 4. The main dining rooms and specialty dining were very good, with excellent service. The one area that fell short for us was the buffet, which is a bit disappointing compared to other cruise lines we've sailed. Even with that, the overall food experiences still felt elevated. For value, I'm landing somewhere between a 4 and a 4.5. We sailed in a mini suite that was comfortable and fit all 4 of us, and that alone added a lot of value. Our fare also included Princess Plus, which made sense for how we vacation. We enjoy wine with our dinner, maybe a pre or post dinner drink as well. Princess has changed this package since we've sailed, so it's important to do the math for how you travel, but for us, it made sense. Overall, I'm giving our Enchanted experience a 4 out of 5. The ship is beautiful, the service was excellent, and the experience felt refined and relaxed. It wasn't high energy or kid-centric, but on this itinerary, that wasn't necessarily a negative. And that brings me to what surprised me the most. Going into this cruise, I really had one expectation: that Princess would deliver a luxury experience. What I didn't realize is just how quiet and laid back this ship would feel compared to other cruise lines that we've sailed, like Norwegian, Disney, and Royal Caribbean. That wouldn't have changed my decision to try Princess, but it would have helped set expectations. And honestly, on a port-heavy New England and Canada itinerary, that calmer pace actually worked in our favor. This is probably the biggest thing I wish I'd known. Princess at the time marketed itself as family friendly, and while families are absolutely welcome, this ship isn't nearly as kid-focused as that messaging led me to believe. There were things for kids to do, but far fewer structured options than we expected. Because we were off the ship in every port, this wasn't a deal breaker for us, but on an itinerary with more sea days, it would have mattered a whole lot more. One thing that surprised me is that there weren't a lot of onboard activities that felt like can't-miss events. When I looked at the daily schedule, I didn't feel that constant pull of needing to be somewhere. And interestingly, I didn't feel like I was missing out. That really ties back to the overall low-energy, more relaxed vibe of the ship. Another thing I wish I'd known is how small many of the venues are. If you wanted to attend a show, you really had to plan ahead and arrive early to get a seat. That often meant sitting and waiting for 30 minutes or more, which became frustrating over the course of the week. Again, the shows themselves were fine. It was the logistics that made it all annoying. The last thing I wish I'd known is how much personal space would matter on this ship. Because the pace was slower and there weren't as many onboard draws, we actually spent more time in our cabin than we expected. We had 4 people in a mini suite for 7 nights, and it was comfortable and never felt cramped. Looking back, I think we lucked out. And knowing what I now know, I'd be much more intentional about choosing extra space on this ship. So, would we sail the Enchanted Princess again? Yes, we would. If it were sailing to a destination we really wanted to visit and the price was right. Going in with the right expectations, a calmer pace, a quieter onboard vibe, and fewer kid-focused activities makes all the difference. I think the Enchanted Princess is a great fit for couples of all ages and for families who aren't expecting a Disney-style cruise experience. If you value good food, strong service, a beautiful ship, and a relaxed atmosphere, especially on a port-heavy itinerary, this ship delivers. If you're traveling with kids and looking for non-stop onboard activities or high-energy program, this may not be the best fit. And would we choose Princess again? Absolutely. We enjoyed this cruise enough that we booked another Princess sailing not long after we got home, on a different ship, because we wanted to see how much of this experience was specific to Enchanted Princess versus Princess as a cruise line overall. We've actually just started sharing our experiences aboard the Sun Princess. So if you're curious as to whether or not that ship feels different, more energy, different dining, or different vibe altogether, I'll link that series for you below so that you can follow along and compare. And if you're still deciding whether Enchanted Princess is right for you, our full dining guide and mini suite cabin tour and our entire playlist will be linked above and below for you as well. We really hope that this final video in our Enchanted Princess series has helped you decide whether or not this ship is right for you and your family. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you know when the next adventure begins. And no matter where your next adventures take you, we hope that you enjoy the journey. Bye now.